Yo, what's up guys? We're back again from the trip, so going to be more videos as of soon. Also, there is a notification about the new collab, which is going to be Tekken 8. I got back from the trip about 10 hours ago. I pretty much slept for a bit. It's like 5 in the morning right now. So if I'm a little bit sleepy and not acting that active, that is what. But let's talk about what we have over here. So Tekken 8. Personally, last Tekken I played was probably like back in 2015 or maybe even way back than that. But definitely was more of a fan of a Tekken player than a Street Fighter player. So we do get that on the 30th of July, which is going to be in about 8 days from now. So that's next week's on the Wednesday. So that's pretty soon already. We do have a pre-registration going on. We can do all of that. Yes, sure. So let's see what we have for the pre-registration. First of all, event period is until the 30th of July. That is the 8th AM PDT. So therefore for Europe we have to add about like 9 hours ish. So it might be that it's coming like in the midday somewhere over there. And therefore it also does mean for Asia it might be on the 31st of July. But not 100% sure if this event ending will result in the patch right away. So instantly giveaway, we have like a bunch of mystical skulls, a bunch of crystals, a bunch of energy. Okay. And then afterwards, the same. Okay, fair. So you just have to fill in all of that kind of stuff. Totally fine. We'll do that later. Then we have pre-registration, blah, blah, blah. Pre-register, yep, okay. You can also invite friends. Cool, invite a friend, yep. Create a pre-registration. Like, oh, let's actually do that. Create a URL. And then it says, invalid email. Let's come to us not even know how freaking emails work. What's invalid about this email in the first place? Or do we maybe have to do this? Okay, that's where I get my code. I'll copy the code and do that kind of stuff in a second. But is this now the moment that you can go for this? So it's not an invalid email address. The email address just not registered yet. Oh my God, give your messages correct. Either I'll just post this in the link below so you can use that if you like. But yeah, it's as easy as that to just fill in all the things and just make sure you invite one person each or something like that, because me inviting like 100 people probably doesn't really change anything for me, but you can use the link down below if you want to help me out or so, and I'll let you know if this gets more or not. First of all, let's look at the characters. Jin Kazama. Let's see what we do have. Capture waiting, voice lines will be used. Okay. Let's go over here. Okay. Basic attack, kind of ish. Gets the devil wing that he normally does in game. So there's like a Jin and a devil Jin, which two different characters, but it does seem... I'm not sure if he always got the wing in the non-devil Jin as well. No, the devil Jin had like 2 wings or something like that. But this is pretty standard. Like, not gonna lie, the hit is just like, yeah. Also, I feel like these are very much looking like the Street Fighter collab units for the collab units. I would say over the years, I'd kind of expected somewhat of a little bit of visual upgrades, but it's not really there. Let's see for Paul, what do we have on Paul? Okay, definitely long-ass animation right there. Should be high-hitting hits in the first place. Nothing too special, but okay, I guess. Next up, we have Anina. Silent Assassin. Okay, AoE hits. Probably, I'm getting some Leia vibes already with like AoE hits, probably a speedy-ish speed scaler unit or something like that. But not too bad. Too bad we don't see like the stats of like, or like the debuff kind of things that normally pop up that you do see over here. Unless they just simply don't have any, but I expect they have probably something. But not bad on looks. And then we also, of course, have Heihachi. Let's see what we have over there. Ooh, wait, that's a lot of weight. That's first impact, death break. Second hit, death break. Third hit, full damage. Okay, that might be additional damage artifacts right away. It also has double death break in the first 2 hits. So kind of depends on like how many multi-hits or like how many activation rate is on that. But that's actually interesting. Wait, can I see anything on... No, there's no animation for any debuffs over there, but Heihachi definitely did have stuff over there. Wait, if I do this multiple times... Wait, did I miss one? Oh, I did miss one. This one. I missed, of course, the Huarang. How can I miss Huarang? Probably a multi-hitter as well. Yeah, or a heavy multi-hitter. Holy. Yeah, that's the thing. Huarang was always my favorite character in Tekken. And he was always very much like fast, quick, agile kind of hits. If you start making it AoE, like how many impacts are these? So you have first impact, second impact, maybe third already, but definitely it's a 3 or 4 multi-hitter. That's insane. Like, I do think that Hwoarang has most chance to be... Yeah, that does seem like... Yeah, this is 4 multi-hit, pretty sure. So this is 1. That is like 2. 2 and 3, and then 4 on this. That's... Okay, Hwoarang I definitely do expect to be most chance for meta. And the main reason I expect him to have most chance for being meta is because of those multi-hits. And we do all know additional damage artifacts is always like super insane. So from first looks of it, I do expect that these are going to be the 4 characters with just the normal elementals, the LDs and whatnot. I expect the Heihachi to be the free one. Yep, it's actually already stated there. I already kind of expected that, but it was already there. This one does seems to be the fire element. Yeah, this will be a fire element. So we get another fire element for free. Would be nice if it's finally something good towards SF. Like, if we're getting a free fire element anyways, might as well give everything a thing that's crazy good in Steel Fortress, because that's still a shitty dungeon. It's a little bit easier made with the Hwa recently, but pretty dope. For me, my favorite characters were always... I was mostly playing Hwoarang, but my second favorite character was Yoshimitsu. So, too bad Yoshimitsu not in the game though, but Hwoarang in the game does make a lot of sense. And then, of course, they picked the most OG characters with like Paul, Jin Kazama, and Nina over here, which definitely does make sense. But I would have loved to see Yoshimitsu. Also, let me know in the comments which character would you have liked to see from this game. Also, Kuma would be hella fun. That's like the big-ass fucking bear. So, let's see. We also do have some mini-games once again. So far the minigames have kind of been like a hit or a miss. I would say that which minigame was really good? Well, the Gwent minigame was absolutely goated. The minigames last time around from Demon Slayer were a little bit like, yeah, it was okay. But this seems to be like a 2D hack and slash kind of game-ish. This seems to be, what would that be? Also kind of 2D hack and slash-ish. And this one just seems to be like a jump-ish game. Okay. Well, not too bad, not too bad. So let's see what we have on those. Wait, on this one we do actually see more characters, right? Because we see also... Wait, what was his name? Oh, Kazuya, of course. Kazuya, that's pretty much like the main bad guy. Or at least the protagonist of like the whole game. So yeah, that's kind of main bad guy. So I guess that will be a boss that we're fighting. And then these are all like characters that we're playing with. Well, technically, Heihachi has as much of a protagonist as this dude is. So in the end, kind of same. Okay, let's see what we have over here for the video. Okay, it's just 15 seconds, so not that much. Jin, Hwoarang, Paul, and Nina. Okay. Probably will get more of a trailer later on as well. Okay, this trailer doesn't really show too much, but just 30th of July. That's about it. Looks pretty hype though. Looks pretty hype. Please look forward to the events and updates coming soon. Okay, so that is all about it. I do think a lot of people were expecting a collab with another anime, such as like Solo Leveling or anything like that that's more recent, or Dragon Ball or anything like that. Tekken 8 was actually one of those never given as a suggestion, the collab in the first place, at least by the community that I've been seeing making suggestions. So let me know in the comments what you think about this collab. I think it's definitely a good one. It's also one of those things that a lot of people probably did have played. Personally, I played more Tekken than I played Street Fighter. I actually played a fair bit of Tekken and no Street Fighter at all. For me, the only downside on this one is like, I wish that my boy Yoshimitsu would have been in the game. Like, this dude is just absolutely freaking badass. Especially, I haven't seen him in the 8 yet. I'm more used to him with like the older style of characters where you just had him like more playing something like this or like this. But in 8, he actually looks even more badass. So that would have been hella badass to add that character into the game. To be honest, I did always like Jin was one of my favorites. Hwoarang was one of my favorites. Was never that big a fan of Paul. Was never that big a fan of Nina. But I guess they can add something to the game. I definitely do think, like, if I have to make some predictions, which unit is going to be very strong. Hwoarang did already show multiple multi-hits. He's always that agile character that does a lot of multi-hits. Multi-hits means additional damage artifacts. If we're hitting like a 4-time AoE on whatever kind of skill, I already get a feeling like, yo, you might already be a little bit good just because of the additional damage artifact vibe that you might have. Plus, if we're talking speed leads, this dude is definitely one of those like either speed awakening or speed leads. And I think Nina's kind of on the same track as well. Like, if we're giving speed awakening speed leads, she might be one of those units as being claimed like a silent assassin. That's definitely one of those units that I think might have potential to actually be good. So Once again, I do really hope that Come To Us makes units on release that are maybe a little bit power creeping, maybe a little bit good, just to keep hype up for these collabs. Because before we have seen it multiple times, like, oh, they released the whole collab, and who's good of the whole collab? Yeah, let's wait for the next balance patch in 2 months because they're all kind of ass. Like, we had that with the Jujutsu Kaisen collab. I think the Jujutsu Kaisen collab on release had 0 good units. Maybe there was 1. For the Demon Slayer was a bit better. We had at least had the Zenitsus that were like decent. All of the others were kind of crap. Collabs before that, I think like the Cookie collab were all crap on the start, except for Manon, which is one of the most stupid units in game at that time. Or even Manon needed 1 buff at that moment. So definitely one of those things, every time they have a collab, is like a lot of hype. And then the moment the collab happens, is like, actually, all of the units are kind of ass. Like, I think Witcher was also kind of on the same thing. Or what's it called? The other game, Assassin's Creed, also kind of same thing. So most of these collabs just had like all ass units right at the start, and then we had to wait for a balance patch, and then it got anywhere. So I do hope that at least some of them make at least like 2 or 3 of the units good, because in the end, we're gonna get like at least 20 units from all of those. We're gonna get this 1 free unit. Half of these are going to be 4-star, half of these are going to be 5-star, so we're adding like about like what 10 5-stars to the game with this. Make at least 2 or 3 actually good. Make at least 1 or 2 of the LDs actually good on release, and don't be like, yeah, we're just going to keep them all crap and then wait for next balance patch and you have no clue who you would actually want to summon for, because it's Russian roulette who's going to be good at the end. But yeah, once again, I think that this collab is pretty cool. 30 days in the making. Finally, we actually have a trailer a bunch of days in advance to get some hype in the game. Thank you, Come To Us, for that. Been a while since we actually got a trailer on anything like hype and anything like cool. Let's see what this brings to the table. It's definitely not new content, and I don't think there's going to be actual new content. Like, sure, they're going to add the minigames, but that's not really remaining content or anything like that. So in this case, the collab is, of course, once again, just more units, which is just more packs, which is just more that kind of stuff. You know which route we're going. But let's see if this is actually going to be a bunch of interesting units that maybe can shake up the meta a little bit, or that we do need the balance patch for the first. But also, as said before, let me know in the comments what you think about this collab. I think it's a pretty good one. I would say I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10 collab. It's not like insane up there, like 11. Like if we're talking Dragon Ball, 11 out of 10. If we're talking solo leveling, 10 out of 10. If we're talking personally for me, Devil May Cry, 10 out of 10. This one, 8.5 out of 10. So definitely not a bad one right there, but it could have been better. Also, then again, they could have also done way worse if we went for another Cookie Run Kingdom collab. I did see some pictures with Car Capture Sakura collab. That would have been like a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 for me. So once again, let me know in the comments what you think about it. It is 6 in the morning. I'll be uploading this video and getting my ass straight back to bed. Well, guys, thanks a lot for watching. See you as always in the next one.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.